All right, today we're tackling something huge, a radical argument that the entire path we're on with AI has basically hit a dead end. But more importantly, we're going to explore a completely new path forward, one that could fundamentally change not just artificial intelligence, but the entire economics of knowledge itself. So let's dive into why the AI revolution might be speeding towards a wall and what could be waiting on the other side.
And it all kicks off with this bombshell. This quote is from Yann LeCun, one of the godfathers of modern AI. Now, when a mind like his, someone who helped build this whole field, says the main technology we're all using is actually the wrong path, it makes you stop and think, right? What does he see that most of us don't? Well, it turns out he's pointing to some deep structural flaws in how all modern AIs actually work.
And we're not just talking about one little flaw here. We're looking at what you could call a triple crisis in AI. 3 huge problems that aren't just bugs you can patch with an update. No, these are hardwired limitations of the entire system.
So crisis number 1 is what Dr. Nicholas Figay calls epistemological confusion. That's a fancy term, but think about it like this. The AI can't tell the difference between a hard fact it learned, a guess it made based on logic, and something it just completely made up. It's like a student who can't tell you if they read something in a textbook, figured it out on their own, or just dreamed it up. A system like that is fundamentally unreliable.
The second crisis comes straight from Yann LeCun himself. He points out that, yeah, a big AI might train on the equivalent of 400,000 years of non-stop reading, but a 4-year-old child gets a much deeper, more real understanding of the world just by, touching things, falling down, and interacting with reality. AIs are disembodied. They know the word fire, but they have absolutely no concept of heat or what it feels like to be burned. They live in a world of words, not our world of cause and effect.
But this third crisis, this one is the real stunner, because it's not a theory, it's mathematically provable. It's called the reversal curse. So let's take a super simple fact, one that any major AI has seen thousands of times. Tom Cruise's mother is Mary Lee Pfeiffer. Okay, easy enough. The AI knows that statement. Forwards, no problem at all. So the reverse question should be just as easy, right? I mean, it's the exact same information, just flipped around. But when you ask the AI this simple question, well, something pretty shocking happens. It fails, and not just by a little bit. It fails catastrophically. And this just brilliantly shows the core problem. See, this isn't a simple mistake it made. It's a mathematical certainty. The very way these models are built is to just predict the next word in a sequence. It's a one-way street. The connection from Mary Lee Pfeiffer back to Tom Cruise, it literally doesn't exist in its programming.
Okay, so if the one-way street we're on is a dead end, what's the alternative? Well, the proposed solution isn't just a little detour, it's a completely new kind of map for knowledge, an architecture called the Semiotic Web.
So instead of that one-way street that's just trying to guess the next word, the semiotic web is built like a real map. It uses these interconnected two-way graphs. And this means that at its core, information isn't just a sequence of words. It's a rich network of relationships.
Now, I know this looks a little complicated at first glance, but the idea behind it is incredibly powerful. As you can see, knowledge is organized in this grid. Think of the columns as how we understand something, from the raw word itself, the signifier, all the way to its deeper meaning. And the rows? The rows are where that meaning applies. Is it a universal truth? Is it something specific to your company? Or is it personal just to you? This structure is what lets the AI understand that a word like risk means one thing in the dictionary, something totally different inside a bank's private documents, and something else entirely to an individual investor. And the fundamental building blocks of this whole new web are things called tokens. And honestly, the best way to think of them is like the DNA of knowledge. Each token is this secure little package that doesn't just hold a piece of information, but it also tracks where it came from, who's allowed to use it, and exactly how it connects to everything else.
Okay, so we've got this cool new architecture and these tokens, but does it actually fix those 3 giant, supposedly unsolvable problems we talked about? Let's take a look and see how it tackles them head-on.
First up, the reversal curse. Well, it's just gone. It's not an issue anymore. Remember how the old model was a one-way street that couldn't get from Mary Lee Pfeiffer back to Tom Cruise? That's what you see on the left. In the semiotic web, every relationship is a two-way connection by default. It's not a one-way street, it's a superhighway. You can go from Tom to his mother and right back again with 0 problems.
And it solves the other 2 crises just as cleanly. That whole epistemological confusion, it's gone, because facts, guesses, and unknowns are all stored in totally different ways. And Jan LeCun's embodiment problem? Well, tokens are designed from the ground up to link language to other things like images, sounds, and sensor data, grounding the AI in a much richer, multisensory reality.
Okay, this is the part where things go from being a cool tech idea to something that could literally change how our world works. This isn't just about building a smarter AI anymore. We're talking about building a brand new economy, an economy built on knowledge itself. This is the part that answers why does any of this matter?
Because these tokens are secure and you can track them, they make something possible that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, a platform called the Mindshare Matrix Marketplace. The core idea is simple, but it's totally revolutionary. Just think about this for a second. What if an expert's knowledge could be turned into a digital asset, something you could actually protect and own and trade?
Let's just compare the old way versus the new way. Today, a brilliant scientist publishes a paper. It gets locked away behind some expensive paywall, and they see almost no direct reward. Now, in the new model, that same scientist encodes their findings into a secure bundle of tokens. They list it on the marketplace and, get this, every single time an AI anywhere in the world uses that specific piece of knowledge to solve a problem, boom, the scientist gets paid a micropayment.
I mean, think about what this really is. It's not just some big database. It's an app store for expertise. It's a stock market for ideas you can actually verify. This model completely flips the script. The incentive is no longer to hoard knowledge, but to share it, because the more your idea gets used, the more you actually earn.
So, where does all of this lead? What does this massive shift from just predicting words to genuinely understanding them actually mean for our future?
You know, when you actually put the two approaches side by side, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. Across every single major category, from how it understands truth, to its reasoning ability, to transparency, all the way to its economic potential, this new architecture is just a fundamental leap forward. It's a system that's actually designed for clarity, truth, and value.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. The goal isn't just to build a machine that's better at trivia night. It's to build an entire ecosystem where human expertise is packaged, protected, valued, and traded in a way that's totally transparent and fair for everyone. It's about creating a true economy of understanding.
Which really just leaves us all with one final provocative thought. If you could package your unique expertise, your most profound insight, into a secure asset that could be licensed by the entire world, what would that idea be?